All right, let's try this again. If anybody's on, send us a chat. Tell us this was successful. We went ahead and skipped the intro, and just going back here. So we will see.
Okay. Also, yeah, let us know if we're live on Periscope. I did try to go check out the last broadcast we just did, and I don't think we were live on Periscope. So let us know.
All right.
If we're back there. You should be seeing it in chat anyway, on the multi-chat.
Yeah, we'll see if it comes through here in a minute. I just want to find out if, and I'm sure Rocky will be out here at some point in time. That way I can see
if you have a mic.
Yeah, see if I have a mic, see if Steven's out there. We'll see if anything comes back on it.
Cool.
We'll check it out here. Let's see.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, anyway, we'll go through the quick rundown. The liquid sunshine, lots of rain, cold weather, blizzards, 16 inches and snow out in Arizona around Prescott. Crazy.
Yeah, crazy weather going on. And, all we get is rain here. So it's so weird, like I said last broadcast, to hear everybody talking about they got snow and, it's 22 degrees. I'm like,
right.
Oh, my God. Ridiculous.
Yeah, so we got Steven. Steven, give me a shout if the audio is okay now. Don't want to sit here and go through that whole intro again if it is not. So
yeah,
let
on
us
YouTube.
Know. Yes, he is on YouTube. So
all right,
we'll see how that.
We'll just have to confirm somebody on Periscope.
Yeah, and if we
then
don't,
we'll be good to go.
Yeah, if we don't, we'll have to run another thing. So the first thing I'm going to do here and see if. As soon as I get one confirmation.
See if Rich has any audio.
Yeah, no, I should. Everything looks good on this side.
Yeah, it sounds better too.
Yeah, for anybody who ever uses OBS, just so you know, if you're trying to load up a lot of different things, if you change one thing or unplug something, you can try to reload OBS. A lot of times it'll come back. If it doesn't, you got to reboot. I appreciate Steven. He says it's good. If not,
awesome.
I had to reboot the entire computer, reload up everything, reload OBS. So fairly stressful, but actually it didn't take too long. So
yeah.
So I know the first thing that Jake was wanting to talk about here tonight, we were wanting to talk about the Pakistani India thing, and I got that. I pulled that video. I'm going to play this real quick. This is the pilot that they caught from one of the down jet, or this is who they're saying from one of the fighters there. Yeah, so that's an unfortunate pilot that's gotten caught. The funny thing about this is they're actually calling for calm. This is the Pakistanis, even though they got this guy, they're calling for calm. And this was, of course, precipitated by the terror attack that killed 40 Indian soldiers in Kashmir, and then went on to go with airstrikes deep in Pakistan, and then they came back and retaliated. So the Pakistani jets dropped bombs, and then it precipitated this dogfight in which two jets were down. So Imran Khan, I guess is his name, he is actually calling for a de-escalation to the situation. Don't forget, these are two nuclear superpowers. So, yeah, this could be a scary situation, but we'll see.
They've been fighting forever. I don't see, if they're ever going to have, eternal peace. They fight like Palestine and Israel. They just fight nonstop. Yeah, I know they're fighting over the whole Kashmir region, right?
Yeah. So yeah, this could get ugly. But yeah, you talk about fighting. I know that you were talking about on the other day. You were talking about the 5 at 5 with the old Juan. And
yeah, that was today. Today, I guess Greg Gutfeld told Juan Williams to get off the set. I think you have a video, right?
That was funny. That was hilarious. So I'm going to play that clip. There's 2 clips actually. The one that came before, and then the one where where he was threatening to throw him off show. I'll play the first one. Obviously, not a fan of Juan, so I wasn't sad to see this happen.
And that's actually better for Trump. How's that not apparent if he's doing it consistently?
Because he's not doing it just for the campaign.
Oh, but he was doing it at the time while running as president. But here's the thing.
What about Morgan? Morgan has not spoken.
Gosh, you guys ever going to let me finish?
Okay. No, because you're always finishing. There's somebody sitting there who hasn't said a damn word.
You are so deep in the bunker and you...
Oh, shut up, Juan. I'm in nobody's bunker. I mean, it's not enough in your bunker. I'm trying to be polite to somebody on the panel, Juan, which you won't do. Which you won't do. Then let her speak.
So I think the question here today is...
So you got to love that. Anytime they resort to the to the cuss words amongst and you know that these people, although they may sit there talking to each other day after day, inwardly, secretly, really, really don't like it because they're totally espousing different political views time after time.
Well, it's not that they're just talking about different political views. It's Juan Williams constantly throwing out the race card. And Greg Gutfeld kind of had enough. And I don't know if that was the clip where he told him, you're in the bunker. And
no, here it comes. I was saving that one. So the fact you talked about the race card was good because obviously Juan's always trying to insinuate the Adolf Hitler card. So here's that.
They interrupt the Republicans. That's not true.
Juan, you have not said one thing that actually happened in the hearing. The Don Jr. thing, he testified, Michael Cohen today, quote, I have no direct evidence of any Russian collusion. You know what his only evidence was? Don Jr. came into the office one time and whispered something into his dad's ear.
That's what he said.
That's what he thinks is the evidence of anything?
No.
He has no documentation, no corroboration, no witnesses of any Russian collusion, of any Trump Tower advanced knowledge. He had nothing, Juan.
Nothing about Roger Stone, nothing about the sun coming in just before the meeting.
Yeah, exactly. We just went through Russia.
That's pretty ridiculous. But again, you are so blind because you, like Greg, are deep in the bunker.
You know, if you say that again, I'm going to throw you off the set.
Oh, no.
Because you know what the bunker means? What you're intimating is that who is in the bunker? Adolf Hitler, correct?
No, I was not.
No, that's what you're saying.
You are
that
so
is
far
your
off.
No.
But
when you say somebody is in the bunker,
you're position that you're now screaming.
Juan, what you're saying is you choose the worst intent of people's words.
No.
Like when I say that I believe something, I'm in the bunker. What if I said that about you? I never say that about you. We're not going to talk about the bunker anymore. We're going to get Morgan in here to talk about her thoughts about.
So, yeah, there you go.
It's amazing. Now, obviously, Greg Gutfeld was probably wrong on that one. I don't think Juan Williams on that time meant the whole Hitler thing, but you can't blame Greg for jumping right away into that because that's all Juan Williams does, and he's just about had enough of them,
Yeah, I think for the most part, as far as the bunker, I think he talks about the Trump camp. But you know what? Hey, here's the thing.
Right.
If he's absolutely right. If he had said that or insinuated something colloquial to that, Juan Williams would be calling it, hey, wait a minute, you can't say that because I'm a black co-host. You can't use that reference. Right. It's not politically correct. Well, you know what? Because don't forget, who was it that had brought up the who had brought up the Adolf Hitler thing? They jumped all over because she was talking about nationalism, and she happened to bring up Adolf Hitler when she said, nationalism.
Oh, it was probably Cortez, AOC.
No, it was a conservative, and she brought up the point. She was defending nationalism.
Yes.
Yeah, defending nationalism as saying, hey, this is something you can be nationalist, you can be proud of your country, and then she said Adolf Hitler was a nationalist. If he had stopped there, that's one thing. But he tried to impose. That's it. Hey, thank you. But he didn't try to impose his will upon everybody, and killed his own people. Obviously, that's not somebody who's a nationalist, because they constantly try to tie that in with a supremacist, which is different than a separatist, so anyway, they're trying to lump it all in so that anybody who carries a conservative flag is going to be, thrown under the bus, condemned as a racist. So anyway, yeah, I was glad.
I'm glad you brought up Candace Owens because she's about to have her own show now. So she's going to be doing a show. So that's pretty cool.
Good, like Candace Owens. I hope she goes far, and I hope she inserts herself into politics a lot more than Miss I'm the Boss, AOC. Wow, dude. You know, it's amazing that at first she was a novelty, okay? Just something that, a curious obscurity out there on the fringe. But, you know, I saw what was that, the national youth leaders of these sit-ins that they're having at the conservatives things trying to push her Green Deal.
Right.
It's crazy. And then she comes out with that video of I'm the Boss, which was, I'll show that here. Here's a little clip. Yeah, that's it. Steven's talking about 2020. Yeah, that would be nice. So anyway, here's AOC in the I'm the Boss thing. For anybody who hasn't seen it by now, which I'm sure probably everybody has, but we'll play it real quick.
You're driving the agenda. You're doing all of. I just introduced Green New Deal 2 weeks ago, and it's creating all of this conversation. Why? Because no one else has even tried. Because no one else has even tried. So people are like, oh, it's unrealistic. Oh, it's vague. Oh, it doesn't address this little minute thing. And I'm like, you try. You do it.
Right.
Because you're not. Because you're not. So until you do it, I'm the boss.
That's
How about that?
You heard.
Yeah, so here's the thing about that. The reason people are making fun of it because it's obscure and it doesn't address the issues and it's unrealistic is because it is all three of those. So for all three of those reasons that she just named, it is a piece of trash resolution that's being put out there. And to say that nobody has tried to push forward a Green Deal, why don't you talk to Al Gore? Why don't you talk to a bunch of people who have tried to push this agenda before? And I think and I believe the ex chairman, the CBO, he said $76 trillion. It would be a rough number, but not that rough number, to actually try to implement the things that she says. So, you know, this is going to be a huge thing. The dividing lines are drawn. This is going to be a question of this is truly sliding to a collection a lot sooner than I thought. I know that we had talked before, and I had said back then that because of what we did in 2008, the fact we had an opportunity in 2008 during the banking crisis to let the big bank companies, let them take a hit, let them fall, okay? And Ben Bernanke said that he was a student of the Great Depression. But yet Ben Bernanke, who says he was a student of the Great Depression, made a decision to print money, whereas Germany practiced austerity. And so what did everybody do? Instead of bringing their money here where we were devaluing our money, they took it to Germany, because Germany in 2008 practicing austerity was a better place to go for your money. So now we have all this debt. We've inflated the price of the dollar. And so now the fall, when it happens, is going to be so much harder. And scary enough, I truly believe that socialism will be a de facto thing that happens just from the standpoint of the country will eventually become insolvent. And it's a scary thought. But I thought that was going to be a long time down the road. I
disagree. We will never let it happen. And getting back to AOC, funny, she's still pushing this Green New Deal. And yesterday, breaking news, hashtag HamburgerGate. So apparently somebody was in a restaurant and took a picture of her out eating dinner with a friend of hers and a big hamburger on the table. Now, for those of you who know that she's trying to ban cows because of cow farts are messing up the ozone, and she's an anti-hamburger and anti-airplane. And she got all bent out of shape and butthurt that somebody took a picture of her hamburger. Okay, so before I get into her starting to blame Jack Posobiec from One American News for it, she was all mad just about a picture of a hamburger. So I tweeted out, wait a second, isn't it Maxine Waters, crazy Maxine Waters, that said, get in the face of these politicians, get in their face if they have crazy policies? So she's upset that somebody just took a picture of a hamburger. Well, apparently she blamed Jack Posobiec, because Jack Posobiec only tweeted out the picture and did a meme of a guy with like he's spying on somebody. He was actually making fun of the guy that was stalking Andrea, and she jumped the gun and was blaming Jack. So there was this Twitter war yesterday between AOC and Jack Posobiec, and you better bring your A game if you're going to go at him, because he's a meme master and he's got a pretty good following.
Right.
I actually tweeted out a couple of things, which thanks to Jack, shout out to Jack, he retweeted one of my my GIFs. He said he has a file on everybody, so he'll just open it when he needs it. So I did a GIF of the file of a cat jumping out of the file when he opened up the AOC, because liberals are cat people, and I love cats too. I'm a Leo. So and he retweeted, and let me tell you, the impressions on that tweet, I get like no impressions on my tweets. I have like 700 followers on Twitter,
right?
At Choose Total News, shameless plug. But when he retweets it, it goes to like 80,000 impressions.
Nice,
it's ridiculous.
Nice. That's
yeah, but whatever. I mean, just it was funny to watch this. It went late into the night, and everybody was making memes and making a joke out of it. But can you imagine? You're upset about a picture of a hamburger. Look what they do to conservatives. They run them out of restaurants and attack them. I mean, come on, lady. And you're going to represent Congress and you can't even handle a picture of your hamburger? Get out of here.
Represent Congress. Wow. Yeah, but I appreciate the fact that you say, and I guess I hope it never happens. I promise you that. I do hope socialism never happens. But it's gone so much further than it ever should have anyway. And this is more a cultural phenomenon happening right now than it is. And we talked the other day about just something as simple as the Bezos and pulling out in New York. And if Bezos, you want to take this guy and hang him, but if you were to do that,
not like on Minecraft or something.
Yeah, exactly. But as if that's going to help you get any of his $80 billion, no, it is not. So now Ivanka and her are getting into the Twitter war, which is funny. Now I want you. I
would love to see a debate between Ivanka and her. Oh my God.
Well, this is a debate. This is from AOC. This is the thing she had a while back. This is when she's talking about how the world's going to end in 12 years. Now, I don't know if you realize that, so whatever you got planned, make sure you get it done. If you haven't been to Disney, head down there before the ticket prices go up too high. But here's a clip of her claiming that this is the next World War II. Keep in mind, for all our military friends out there, that's already been done, but yet she says that's what it's equating.
Your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And this is the war. This is our World War II. And
this is somebody that wants to go up against Ivanka. I just, wow. I don't understand. So here's the tweet that was sent. As a person who actually worked for tips and hourly wages in my life, instead of having to learn about it secondhand, I can tell you that most people want to be paid enough to live. A living wage isn't a gift. By God, it's a right. Workers are often paid far less than the value they create. Okay? Let me tell you this. I had to cut somebody loose today. He didn't deserve the money that he was getting. So I don't feel that he should have gotten more, and definitely not whatever AOC decides that he should have had. So yeah, this whole thing. And by the way, she was a bartender. That's basically performance based. If you're a lousy bartender, you don't get paid as much. If you're a good bartender, people are usually very generous with tips, but not if you take all their money through taxes, because then they have no more money to tip. So keep that in mind. And,
oh my God, I can't see her as a bartender. Somebody will come in and ask for a screwdriver. She's like, hold on, we got the tools in the back.
Dude, she would be, oh, man. Okay, so here's Ivanka. Here's her response. Of course, she's smarter. She says, this idea of a guaranteed minimum is not something most people want. They want the ability to be able to secure a job. They want the ability to live in a country where there's a potential for upward mobility based on their work, not what she has, which is her draft where she had said that, let me see if I can find it. Here's, oh man, I never brought it in. That's it in. Okay. It was just going back to the thing where she had said about the fact that guaranteed wages for those unable or unwilling to work. Now, obviously, didn't make it to the final draft, but that's inside the mind. That's one of those things that's like hearing the inside voice. So and they try to deny that. And once again, Jack Posobiec was all over that, saying this was right from your website. What are you talking about? I made this up and I'm putting out false news. This is from your website. Wow. You know, it's amazing. That is not our future. You know, I used to think before Trump that our country was heading that way and that people are just dumb as a rock. But you're right about how they indoctrinate people right from high school and college with this liberal, hate the flag, hate everything, socialism is the way. Right. I can't see our country going that way. There's too many strong patriots out there. There's shows like this, when we do get it running right, that's going to just keep, you know, going out there and getting the word out. Well, one thing, let me speak on real quick. Hold on, before you do, keep that thought. I just want to say hello to Rocky. Rocky and Steve talking about, and Rocky had said that you're shadow banned. He said you were shadow banned, Total News. He said, I have to go directly to your page to see your tweets. They don't show up on my feed. So there you go. No, I know. There's a little confirmation for you there. I do, and I appreciate that, Rocky. I've actually, real quick on that, I actually do a test. I'll make up a hashtag, whatever, ABC123, and then I'll tweet it out, and then I'll go to, I'll click on that hashtag and click on latest, and it's not there. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. I do that so many times. I'll, you know, like this Cohen testimony, which we'll get to in a minute, and I'll hit latest right away. I'm not even there. It's like totally not even there. Do you know if we're live on Periscope? Has anybody responded? No, I would have to assume that we are not, but I wasn't going to shut this down again. Yeah, that's okay. Because we're trying to transition away from Periscope anyway. Yeah. You know, I'll say this again. I don't want to try to trash anybody, but I don't really like what I see on Periscope, especially in the conservative MAGA movement. The MAGA thing has just been, you know, tainted with people that are out there scamming and shilling and saying they get dreams from God and you know that they got secret intel and the president watches their page and they go to investigate these people with body armor on and it's like a circus, honestly. So it's going to be nice to transition out of Periscope more into YouTube and eventually our own website. Right. Not saying we're better than anybody, but we're just like you guys. We're just two guys that see current events and we want to talk about it. We're not political geniuses. We're not saving the world through social media. We're not getting dreams from God and sending you to our PayPal. We're just two guys out here to talk to you. I just wish people would just be more honest and not try to always find this like niche, you know, and make up things and just be real, you know? Yeah, and please, if you have something out there, be vocal about it. Don't forget, the one thing, if nothing else about politics, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. That's what it's about. And it's not about a matter of who believes, how many people believe this versus that. It's who's the most vocal about an issue, who calls, who writes, all that stuff. It goes back on there. Now, before I interrupted you to say hello to Rocky and Steven, what were you about to say? Not sure, but I do want to touch base on the shadow ban and censorship. Now, obviously, I've had 5 of my pages shut down from FB Live Real News and 5 of my pages shut down on Total News Network. I know all about being shut down. It's not worth trying to cry or figure it out or whatever. Just move on, get another page. Censorship. So this the guy Jacob Wohl, which I really don't know much about him. I seen him through Ali. And he got his page just shut down, and of course Laura Loomer got her page shut down, and you know, and Alex Jones, and it's just another pattern. Now there was a lot of people saying they were glad about Jacob Wohl being shut down, but I don't agree with that. If you don't like the guy, even if you hate the guy, you shouldn't celebrate that he's shut down. Right. Because that could be somebody you like next time. I feel like I always keep saying this every time somebody's shut down. Yeah. It just seems to be everybody that's on the right keeps being shut down. But you shouldn't celebrate that. Now, I do agree if somebody's putting out false info and hurting people and scamming people, not really so much false info.
Because I know, Rich, you're going to jump on that and be
and I got another story to tell you in just a second on that, but go ahead.
You know what I mean? Who cares if it's false info? Let people determine. But if you're putting out false info to scam people and hurt people and defame people, then yeah, you can't yell fire in a crowded building. You know, there is a limit to free speech, but let people decide that. Don't celebrate if somebody you don't like gets shut down. You just close-minded, and next it's going to be the person you like. So
that's right. And just to say, Stephen was saying you tried to share a link to a very wonderful lady that's great in North Carolina. Wouldn't let me share the link. Assuming this is having something to do with politics, hey, throw her name out there. I'll call out her name now. We'll at least someone will know what to search. When you were talking about,
wouldn't let you share links on the YouTube chat. They're real strict about links on YouTube chat. I know that.
Yeah, Rocky just got one. I think that's what he got up there. You'll have to take a look at it later. But what I was going to say as far as the information, YouTube just put out a thing saying that they were going to shut down any pages that had any information against vaccines. Okay?
Really?
Because the World Health Organization says that there's been a proliferation in the case of measles, and because there's sites out there that say that vaccines will cause autism, cause different issues because of the mercury suspension in the thing, that it's not good. Now, whatever side of the fence you fall on that is your business, whether or not you think the vaccines are okay to get for kids or they're not okay to get for kids. It's up to you. Here's my thing. YouTube has no right deciding that the World Health Organization's opinion is the only one out there. If there is other opinions out there, let them be heard. And just because the World Health Organization says that there's too much information out there about negatives and people aren't doing it because of the misinformation, what they feel is misinformation being put out there, no reason for YouTube to shut it down. And I got another problem with that too. Don't forget, measles was all but eradicated in this country. Geez, I wonder who could be bringing it into this country.
Right, yeah.
And isn't it funny that the World Health Organization has wanted to tout how much and how important vaccines are, but yet people are allowed to come into this country without any inoculations, any of their vaccines, and they walk right into this country, and we let them disappear into the population to spread whatever diseases that they are bringing from their country, whether it be the measles, whether it be tuberculosis, which has proliferated again, polio, whatever it is. Things that contained within this country were pretty much isolated. You want to oppress our right to hear the other side of the information about vaccines, but yet you won't stand at the border and mandate that these people get them before they come into this country, but you want to make American children have to get them. Something's wrong with that to me. So that was the point I wanted to make on that and the misinformation. And
and I wish that I had remembered this, but we can only cover so much. But there was some breaking news today, and many won't be surprised, that Facebook is working with the Southern Poverty Law Center, SPLC, and certain key words will now get you shut down, like cuck or certain words that only conservatives use, by the way. I don't know if you've seen anything on that.
No, I haven't, but I'm making a note down here for the good old
definitely
Southern
we got to cover
Poverty.
this, because the Southern Poverty Law Center pretty much is just part of the left-wing propaganda thing now. They'll just demand, they'll just put you on a terrorist list or whatever if you just wear a MAGA hat, basically, at that point. Well, now there's these certain words that you can be shut down for. Chatterley is one of the words. So I was thinking about the guy Chatterley that has a page that's called Chatterley. He'll probably be shut down. I mean, Tom Chatterley. So.
I like that.
Yeah, he's a good guy too.
All right, and now I know you've been pining away, and I wasn't able to follow it, so I'm going to punch up here. We got Mr. Cohen. Mr. Cohen on the stand today. Was not able to follow it. Tell us what happened. Give us a synopsis.
All right, so Cohen. First of all, anybody that could even believe his name is Cohen after this guy has lied and corrupted his way to where he's at. So I love one of the senators was grilling him saying, wait a second, you worked for President Trump 10 years. I could see you working for him for 10 hours the way you're talking about him, or 10 days, or even 10 months, but 10 years for a guy you claim is this horrible guy,
right?
You know, and we're supposed to believe you when you lied on this bank loan and you lied to get taxi medallions and all kinds of stuff. And of course, the biggest thing was Matt Gaetz from Florida, the senator. I believe he's a senator or governor. Tweeted out that he's saying, hey, Cohen, does your wife and your father-in-law know about your girlfriend? They're about to find out. So everybody immediately jumped. I don't know. Did you see that tweet?
No,
Rich?
no.
Oh, this was right before he testified. This
Wow.
was yesterday. So I tweeted out a poll saying, do you think it was, you know, witness tampering? Do you think it wasn't a threat? Or who the hell is Matt Gaetz? I usually put that at the bottom. I did the same thing with Jacob Wohl. Are you glad he was suspended? Are you mad? Or who the hell is Jacob Wohl? You know?
That's fine.
So everybody 100% said, oh, it was witness tampering. So he wasn't threatening Cohen saying, hey, if you talk, I'm going to release this info. He was just saying, we know you have girlfriends and they're about to find out. So I don't think it was witness tampering, you know?
Okay, couple things here, just following the chat here. Rocky, of course, is rightfully Orwell 1984. Obviously, yeah, heading that way. Stephen's talking about Dr. Rosemary Fernandez Stein, big educator promoter in North Carolina, great for her community. So there she is. You can search her up because obviously he can't put a link. And Stephen says he's got a question for Jake. He says, what do you think about Trump saying he's a great guy, but now saying, hold on, what do you think about, okay, I'm sure that Stephen's trying to type this quickly. Sometimes errors do happen. If you could clean that up a little bit, I could actually tell what that's saying here. What do you think about Trump saying he's a great guy? Oh, so, okay, I got it. Don't worry. You don't have to try to type it again. Nice job, dear old thumbs. Anyway, he was saying, what do you think about Trump saying Cohen's was a great guy? Now he's turned on him basically and says, you know, he's weak and uncredible.
Yeah, he does that several times. And, you know, that's a pattern of politicians, but supposedly President Trump's not supposed to be a politician. But constantly he's, you know, he said that about Ted Cruz, the even a better example, that he's lying Ted and his father killed Kennedy. And he's horrible, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, he's a great man." I mean, this is just a pattern that these people do.
I was about to say, let's face it; these are marriages of convenience at best.
Right.
I mean, let's put it this way: if you're going to hire somebody, it reminds me of that that commercial where they're at the car shop and the guy says, "So you do brakes, huh?" Yes, yeah, sort of. You do a good job. Yeah, kind of. You know, we got that motto around here. If the brakes don't stop your car, something will stop your car. So obviously you're not going to talk down your guy, but when push comes to shove, if he's an idiot, you'll call him out. Or if you're protecting your own rear end, you're going to call him out too.
But real quick,
code
on
for
that point,
CD.
And me, I am not a Trump
fanatic.
You know, cult
person following.
Where
yes,
no
exactly.
matter what he does, I'm like rah rah shish kumbah. Stephen's right. He should be called out for that.
Right.
You're supposed to be different, President Trump. You're supposed to, you know, not be like other people. Just like he was saying when Putin would never have done that. And then he's like, what I was saying was, no, he would do that. You know, this flip-flopping stuff, you know, that then again, this just proves that President Trump's a man. But he should be called out for that.
Right.
Absolutely. Now, you won't see that on a lot of pages that make their money and bring home the bacon on President Trump. They won't ever say anything bad about him. I think he's great. Right now, he's the best we got. But, yeah, he should be called out for that. He's a great man. He's a great man. Oh, no, he's horrible. He's horrible. Yeah. So I'm glad Stephen brought that up. I have no problem calling out Trump on anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, the call following thing we talk about on some of the we just talked about as far as some of the other channels that either truly believe it and or use it to shill people. The CDO for Jesus. How does that on YouTube, CDO for Jesus? Howdy, Jake and Rich. I guess that's how they pronounce it. If it's wrong, I apologize. But
that's our initials.
CDO. That's right. I think we talked about that before. CDO for Jesus. Amen. So, hey, happy to have you with us, and God bless you. So,
welcome.
And Steven says, I like that. He even said Jake 2020, but he didn't say what that meant. He didn't say if that was
Jake 2020. I was president once, but only of a condo association, not of America.
And he was a hated one at that, weren't you?
Yes. I was pretty hated. Was pretty to the point, but I did take us from a place that was just about to, the state to move in back to the black. So had to go after a lot of deadbeat owners that weren't paying their maintenance, and it's a whole thing. We could do a show on it. I have thought several times about running for local government. It would be pretty interesting. Okay. See what happens.
All right, there you go. We have them announcing right now.
yeah. I've thought about it.
Well, anyway, the only other thing I could think of that we could cover in the time, because we've been burning. I don't even know what time we started since we had to restart the show because of audio problems. But would be the Mark Harris thing up here in North Carolina, as far as calling for new elections on that. How about that whole thing? That's just the whole thing's a shame the way it's played out. And it makes you wonder how many other Cynthia. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Cynthia. So it makes you wonder how many other elections from this Red Dome company were swayed and were the same counts. I know they went back and looked at other ones. And for Harris's son to tell his dad, hey, listen, there was irregularities in the past election, and maybe you don't want to go with this guy. I mean, they were talking some of the excerpts from the hearing and some of the things that were printed about people so drugged out that were altering these ballots at this house they were doing it at, would like pass out at the computer when they were doing it, or on opioids when they were doing it, through this guy. I forget what his name is off the top of my head. But yeah, and apparently Red Dome really doesn't have an affiliation for party, because in 2016 they were working for Pittenger's opposition and got him elected, obviously. So yeah, that's they're going to have a recount. So I hope.
Yeah, there's so much voter fraud, man, going on. And like we talked about a couple of shows ago, there was a task force, but President Trump and his administration ended that, a task force to go after this voter fraud, and they're so afraid to demand a voter ID because, the opposite side says it's racist and you're trying to suppress votes. I mean, you need an ID to get friggin' alcohol, but you don't need an ID to vote. I mean, come on, man. Yeah,
and now you're going to saddle us with the, quote, national ID. Let's go ahead and go back to that. So you have something that is that invasive into the life of every American, every law-abiding American out there, the real ID that everybody has to get with the little gold star, which is creepy up in the corner, and you're supposed to have it to go in any federal facility, and you'll have to have it to board a plane unless you have a passport to do that instead.
That was one of our first broadcasts, wasn't it?
Darn right it was. And the thing about it is that you have all this on that, make everybody go through all that, but yet you won't use that as the voter ID for citizenship.
Of course not.
Anybody who's against, number one, I'm against that real ID. Just want to put that, any national ID, I'm totally against. Anything that comes close to that, I'm against. But if you're going to have it, then you should make all these people that claim citizenship have it. And if you don't have it, you don't vote. It's not that hard. Give it away for free. If you don't have the money to get it, there should be an organization that will go ahead and help you get one, or make it more affordable for people to have it, or tie it in with your car registration that pays for it, or to get your driver's license to begin with. You charge for everything else. But yeah, that would be the perfect documentation for voting. Why not have it? I don't see why not.
Actually, I think I'm probably worse than that. I think we should be chipped to vote, but whatever. Put a chip in us.
I'm sorry. I thought I heard Jake say something crazy. Are you kidding me, Chip? I want to know. I want to know how Cynthia feels about that chip idea. Anybody's got it?
Chip voter ID.
Yeah, Cynthia for Jesus.
They can track you everywhere. I mean, they already do to your cell phone. Real quick, I just thought of this. Of course, prayers to President Trump, who's over in North Korea, unless he's back already. I don't know. But I didn't like the fact that Mike Pence was in Colombia. No, not Colombia. Where was he? Cuba.
Cuba, okay.
I think he was in Cuba, and President Trump was in North Korea. I didn't think that they were allowed to be out of the country at the same time. I don't think it's a good idea.
Well,
God forbid something happens.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great idea. I don't know that they can't be out. I know they wouldn't be out of the country at the same place at the same time. By the way, I just want to show this. This is my folding phone emergency pack in case I have to go back to that.
Oh, God.
I don't even know why I keep that. I guess just because I wish I had kept my old Apple computer. But anyway.
Please, if I took this camera and I turned it around and showed you the room I'm in right now, this is like my storage room. I got my DJ stuff. I got my drum set. I still got a stack of VCRs over there that nobody ever uses. Broken coffee pot. I am like the hoarder in this one room. The rest of my house looks awesome. This back room looks like Fred Sanford.
Which, by the way, Cynthia was with me on that No Chip Ever. And World Police 82, love seeing him in the house. He says, when is that going into effect? Okay, so clarification on the Real ID. Supposedly, it was supposed to have gone into effect. If you go to TSA's site, they will show you all the states that are already compliant. I believe that'll be a year from January before you're actually required for air travel to have it. Up until then, you can still use your driver's license, but I think the implementation of it is actually going to be within 1 year. Now you can get your passport card, which is in an envelope somewhere that you can get on the plane, but obviously, and you can get into federal facilities with that. But the other thing is this. Obviously, the passport card, just remember this. If you are going to get a passport to circumvent the Real ID, go ahead, pony up the money if you can, and get the actual passport book, because you cannot use the passport card to travel internationally. So you might as well kill two birds with one stone and just go ahead and get the actual passport itself. And
that's a .gov website. This is not stuff we're making up. The Real ID program is real.
Oh, no.
Search it, Real ID program. It's on like a .gov website. This is happening.
Down at your DMV right now. I mean, I have people I know that have it. I've seen the card. They're out there. So no, this isn't something that is imaginary. This is not something.
The last time I had a gold star on any document was like in 5th grade when I did pretty good on a book report.
Yeah,
my mom hung it on the fridge. Do you remember that? They used
absolutely
stars.
Yeah,
that would, you know.
I remember I stole a sheet from school and I would put them on my homework before I went home, and Mom was like, "Man, he is killing it."
He just confessed to a crime right here on Vantage Point. It's amazing.
Oh, man, I'm going back to the 6th grade. I wish I could go back to the 6th grade.
Yeah, they don't have files on that.
No. All right.
They were like chiseled in.
Chiseled in. Well, I believe that's enough frivolous talk tonight.
Yes, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. And follow and share Vantage Point, and Rich is going to do his amazing outro. We're hoping it works. I don't know if we were live on Periscope. I don't know.
You know what? We had a good crowd here, and Cynthia says she's not traveling outside of Texas, so no worries there. So, hey,
nice.
All you guys, appreciate it. Appreciate you coming in tonight. Appreciate you coming in for the reboot. Sorry about the faux pas at the beginning and having to reboot the entire system. We appreciate it. We know you could have been anywhere doing anything, probably funner, but you chose to be with us. We do appreciate it. Jake, any final words before I take us on the outro?
Yeah, just when Rich says, all you guys, because I say you guys too, I could be speaking to a full room of women and say you guys. It's a northern thing. He's from Jersey. I'm from Long Island. We say you guys. But of course, we welcome all the ladies and women and all that too.
Yeah, it used to be better. I used to say yous guys. At least now I just say you guys.
Y'all.
That's it. All right, hold on.
That's it, man. That's it. Just God bless everybody, man, and hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll get all the bugs worked out. But every Wednesday night, we've committed to that around 9 p.m. Eastern. So
yeah, Rocky, World Police, Cynthia, Jake, Steven, everybody. I think I got everybody there. Appreciate you coming. We'll see you later. Take care.
Peace.
I would like to begin with a poem in old-fashioned meter. Be good to us, and we will be good to you. Be good to us, and we'll be good. I would like to begin with a poem in old-fashioned meter. Be good to us, and we'll be good to you. Be good